हेलो स्टूडेंट। अपना टॉपिक चल रहा था ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री। अब ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री में बात करते हैं व्हाट इज़ द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री, यानी कि ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री कैसे, क्या डिसीजिव फैक्टर इसको अपन ने डिफ्रेंशिएट किया है जनरल केमिस्ट्री से, जिस वजह से हमने इसको ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री बोल रहे हैं। उन प्रिंसिपल्स को हम फॉलो करते हैं, ये हमारी एक फिलोसॉफी है जिसके आधार पर आगे हम बढ़ते हैं। पॉल इंस्टास then of United States Environmental Protection Agency and John C. Warner developed 12 principles of green chemistry, which help to explain what the definition means in practice. The principle covers such concepts as the design of process to maximize the amount of raw material that ends up in the product. Second, the use of safe environmental benign substances, including solvent whenever possible. The design of energy efficiency processes, the best form of waste disposal, not to create it in the first place. The 12 principles of green chemistry are described as follows. Number 1. First, the prevent waste. The ability of chemists to redesign chemical transformation to minimize the generation of hazardous waste is an important first step in the pollution prevention. By preventing waste generation, we minimize hazards associated with waste storage and transportation and treatment. Second, minimize atom economy. Atom economy is a concept developed by Barry Trost of Stanford University that evaluates the efficiency of chemical transformations similar to a yield calculation. Atom economy is a ratio of total mass of atoms in the desired product to the total mass of atoms in the reactants. One way to minimize waste is to design chemical transformations that minimize the incorporation of all material used in the process into the final product, resulting in few of any waste atoms. Choosing transformation that incorporates most of the starting material into the products is more efficient and minimizes waste. Third one, design less hazardous chemical synthesis. Wherever practicable, synthetic methodologies should be designed to use and generate substances that possess little or no toxicity to human health and environment. The goal is to use less hazardous reagents wherever possible and design processes that do not produce hazardous byproducts. Often a range of reagent choices exist for a particular transformation. This principle focuses on choosing reagent that pose the least risk and generate only benign byproducts. Fourth, the design safer chemical and products. Chemical products should be designed to affect their desired function while minimizing their toxicity. Toxicity and ecotoxicity are the properties of the products. New products can be designed that are inherently safer while highly effective for the large target application. In academic laboratories, these principles should influence the design of synthetic targets and new products. Fifth one, use safer solvent reaction conditions. The use of auxiliary substances, for example, solvent, separation agents, etc., should be made unnecessary wherever possible and innocuous. When used, solvent use lead to considerable waste. Reduction of solvent volume or complete elimination of the solvent is often possible. In cases where the solvent is needed, less hazardous replacement should be used. Purification steps also generate large sums of solvents and other waste. Avoid purification when possible and minimize the use of auxiliary substances when they are needed. Increase energy efficiency. Energy requirement of chemical processes should be recognized for their environmental and economic impacts and should be minimized. A possible synthetic and purification method should be designed for ambient temperature and pressure so that energy costs associated with extreme in temperature and pressure are minimized. Seventh one, use renewable feed product. Whenever possible, chemical transformation should be designed to utilize raw materials and feedstocks that are renewable. Example of renewable feedstocks includes agriculture products or the waste of other processes. Example of depleting feedstocks includes raw materials that are mined and generated from fossil fuels, for example, petroleum, natural gas, coal, etc. Eighth one, avoid chemical derivatives. Unnecessary derivatization, use of blocking growth, production, reproduction, temporary modification of physical chemical processes should be minimized or avoided, if possible, because such steps require additional reagents and can generate waste. Synthetic transformations that are more selective will eliminate or reduce the need for protecting groups. In addition, alternative synthetic sequences may eliminate the need to transform functional groups in the presence of other sensitive functionality. Another one, use catalysis. Catalytic reagents, as selective as possible, are superior to stoichiometric reagents. Catalysts can serve several roles during a transformation. They can be increase the selectivity of reactions, reduce the temperature of a transformation, enhance the extent of conversion to product, and reduce reagent based waste since they are not consumed during the reaction. By reducing the temperature, one can save energy and potentially avoid unwanted side reactions. 10th one is design for degradation. Chemical products should be designed so that at the end of their function they break down into innocuous degradation products and do not persist in the environmental. Efforts related to this principle focus on using molecular level design to develop products that will degrade into hazardous substance when they are released into the environment. 11th one is analyze in real time to prevent pollution. It is always important to monitor the progress of a reaction to know when the reaction is complete or to detect the emergence of any unwanted byproducts. Whenever possible, analytical methodologies should be developed and used to allow for real-time in-processes monitoring and control to minimize the formation of hazardous substances. 12th, minimize the potential for accident. One way to minimize the potential for chemical accidents is to choose reagent and solvents that minimize the potential for explosions, fire, and accidental release. Risk associated with these type of accidents can sometimes be reduced by altering in the form, solid, liquid, or gas, or composition of the reagents. Expert feels that the far-reaching implication of green chemistry and design spreading across disciplines and applications suggests that the field has tremendous potential for growth. Today, green chemistry applications make up a mere 1% of total chemical market share. It is predicted that the drive to expand green chemistry will come from the market, not from regulation. Most of these principles are aimed at being less bad. Michel Bongard argues convincingly that we need to shoot higher than that we need to aim to be good. Zero is not a positive outcome, but some of them are positive goals, and for those are not, even if less bad is good as it we can do for now. We need to keep a longer term positive goal in mind. Okay, thank you.